Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and I know today has been rather turbulent, so what's with this headline from Moon Lambo? There's an analyst talking about XRP reaching $28. Well, I'm going to run through everything with you here. I've got opinions from all sorts of analysts in this video. A lot of it having to do with XRP, and some having to do with Bitcoin, because let's be real, XRP price action is tethered to Bitcoin, whether we like it or not, and we don't really like it. But it just is a matter-of-fact type of thing. So I'm going to be a cool dude and tell you at the outset just a little bit about this $28 prediction, but not everything right now. I've got an order I'm going through sequentially in this video, but if you want the high-level stuff, at least just a couple of things. There's a trader who is definitely a proponent for XRP, I think it's safe to say, but not just XRP, is not a maximalist, and he makes sure to go out of his way to say that many times. But he thinks that XRP, there's a major bull run coming, and the time frame for this, it looks like, and when I was looking at his chart, it looks like it would be next year, 2020, sometime between, like, the big part of it, and this is kind of a ballpark thing from his perspective, but somewhere between May to maybe August, if I looked at the chart, and I'm pretty sure that's about where he was kind of indicating, but XRP is high as $28, and he's talking about the points at which he's going to exit and take some profit from some of that. So I'll get into more of the specifics. Other than that, I just thought if I'm going to put a headline out there like that, I'm willing to tell you a little bit up front. But before we get going any further here, if you would please delicately tap that like button, and if you agree that Will Ferrell essentially plays the same damn character in every movie he's ever been in, go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel. That's not a knock, by the way. I like Will Ferrell. I'm just saying here. Alright, so let's go ahead and dig in. Real quick recap for the day. It's kind of been a bloody day for the markets, right? Market cap for the asset class down to $206 billion. You got Bitcoin at $7,611 and XRP at 24.4 cents as I record this. And I am going to use this as an opportunity to point out just how correlated the entire market is. If I could get... Here we go. So there's the top 10 coins on the screen. Okay, number 5's Tether. Throw that out as a stable coin. Quote-unquote stable. Still bounces around from $1 in the markets. But anyway, look at the top 10. Bitcoin dropped, and what did the rest of the coins in the top 10 do? They all dropped because there is correlation. I'm sorry if you want to be a correlation denier. It's there. It's on your screen right now. Bam. That's it. Now, as far as the 24-hour action for XRP, I mean, it's been doing what everything else has been doing, more or less. It's just there was a drop, and then it's been in that short of time period trading sideways. And so I was looking at this headline here from you today. XRP's price drops below 25 cents, reaching its lowest level in months. And I think this was, if I'm correct, this was before a huge chunk of the sell-off. I could be mistaken. I apologize if so. I think that was the case. And it was before some of the news that people believe triggered this. And I mentioned this in another video. The theory going around crypto Twitter is that the news of Binance's Shanghai office getting shut down by the government and closing with the 50 to 100 employees, whatever it is, something like that works there. And I covered the story in another video. But the theory is that is what triggered all of this. Now, I also pointed out when I mentioned that in another video that there are all sorts of technical analysts that were saying, hey, the way the market looks, and seriously, that seemed to be the overwhelming position from technical analysts, that, hey, Bitcoin's going to be going lower probably into the 7,000s. And so it could still be the case that this news had something to do with it. It could have just been the straw that broke the camel's back. It could have been the catalyst, right? And so, who technically knows for sure? The timing seems to probably work out from what a lot of people have been saying on Twitter. You can make your own judgment call on that. I'm just reporting on it here. Now, take a look at this. Bitcoin crashes back to $7,400, completely wiping out the October rally. And so, over the past week, Bitcoin has faced a slow grind down to the $8,000 price level. Now Bitcoin broke below its 0.786 Fibonacci retracement level as well. Its last major level before a confirmed full retrace of the October 25th rally to $10,500. After a short bounce, Bitcoin has bounced back to around $7,600 at press time. And again, that is, as I reported here, it's about where it is as I record, the $7,611.68. So, yeah, Bitcoin's being a volatile bitch today. Right? Like it just straight up is. You know, that's a cold hard fact. Now take a look at this. Here's a tweet from Patty Statch on the topic, and he tweeted this out. Why is everyone so bearish all of a sudden? Did you not see this pullback coming? I'm going to toot my own horn and say I did. Back in June, I called the peak and said a 4 to 6 month consolidation was expected. That's exactly what we've been saying. Add to my TG Telegram. And so here's a screen capture, so I'm going to read these two. This is from Patty Stash. Welp, and this is June 26th this year. Welp, Bitcoin appears to have peaked at $14,000 and the bottom fell out and it dropped to $12,000. It's since bounced a bit, but that was the signal I was looking for. In my opinion, it could climb back up and above $14,000, but I think that was it. From this point forward, we see a long consolidation period. Alts begin coming alive starting today. That huge jump will have a psychological effect whether people realize it or not. $11,000 support lost. And this is June 27th. I think people have come to the realization that... I'm sorry, I meant to... that was a continuation. Sorry. Ultimately, I think it's possible we could pull all the way back to $7,000. However, I think we will see a little bit of a bounce in this area soon. Consolidation, then a slow bleed as altcoins continue to increase. I'm sure most of you have noticed already, but the medium cap altcoins have been moving up nicely. So there you go. He didn't say, it indeed states that over that period of time that Bitcoin would likely drop to that level. So take it for what's worth. You know what? For all the grief these chart analysts get for getting stuff wrong, when they get something right, let's let them pat their own back. Like I'm totally on board with that. If it's deserved, it's deserved. I'm cool with that. Well done, Patty Stash. Now here's a tweet from Crypto Wizard, and so he was asked, any short positions with XRP, and his response was, and he's again a chart analyst, talks about XRP with a fair amount of frequency. He's got 21,000 followers on Twitter. He writes, no positions whatsoever. Absolute death wish to attempt to jump into trades at this present point in time. This is where the newcomers get smoked. Wizards are here to smoke on cigars by the beach after taking low risk / high reward setups. So there you go. Now, as far as the $28 prediction, let's go ahead and dig into this. So I found out about this prediction thanks to All the Way Awake. So thank you very much for tagging me. He tagged me along with @MrLevelUp, who goes by Awake on Twitter. He's another chart analyst that I highlight on the channel with a certain amount of regularity. He's got over 11,000 followers on Twitter right now. So definitely a meaningful following there. And so All the Way 08 tweeted this out. This was a very interesting technical look into market cycles and crypto, and not one I have seen before. Don't agree with the XRP ledger being centralized, but I enjoy his take and analysis for sure, and feel smarter for it. And so he is referencing this. And again, thank you very much All the Way for tagging me. I really do appreciate it, because it's a link to a video that goes on for almost 40 minutes, and I clicked on it thinking maybe I'd watch a minute or two and just kind of check it out. I ended up watching the whole damn thing. I'm going to be honest, I watched the whole thing. And this is from DIY Investing, which presumably stands for Do-It-Yourself Investing, right? And so here's what he wrote. Watch my newest video on XRP. This explains my reasons for believing XRP is headed for 100x. Thank you all for the support. As always, remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And so I did watch this, and I want to address something that All the Way 08 said at the outset here before getting any further at the outset of coverage of this portion of the video, this content. He cited that the content creator said XRP ledgers being centralized. He did. But it was in reference to, and I still disagree with this, but I'm just going to explain it. I just want to make sure that we're getting specific about this. But he was saying that Ripple holding as much XRP as they hold makes it centralized, which I firmly disagree with. To me, that's completely nonsensical. It'd be fun to have a conversation with this guy about that. But he wasn't citing that the distributed ledger technology itself he wasn't saying that that's centralized itself. He's just saying the fact that that's his opinion, and I wouldn't use such words. I just don't agree with that. And he also said another thing I didn't like, which was that and he doesn't have a beef with, but I want to be clear too, like he seemed to be pro XRP, and he likes what Ripple's doing to build out the ecosystem. He believes it has strong fundamentals, but he did say that XRP, the price is being suppressed thanks to Ripple. I'm paraphrasing, but essentially that's what he was saying. I firmly disagree with that. I've covered that topic ad nauseum on this channel. I'm not going to delve into it. It is wrong. It's just factually incorrect. But he wasn't saying it to be a troll. He just has an opinion, and perhaps some more data could sway him to believe something different. So I enjoyed what this guy put out there. I didn't know I was going to watch this whole video. When I clicked on it, I was like, oh my god, 40 minutes. And I've been guilty of making videos back in the day, months ago that were that long, and I've since tried to steer away from that. But so anyway, but I actually did watch the whole thing, and so this is not intended to be a full summary of that. If you want to see the full reasons behind his prediction here, the price prediction of it getting up to $28. Watch his video, because this channel is not about technical analysis. It's about covering the news pertaining to Ripple and XRP. And so the videos that I make on price, it's not me. Like, I don't make price predictions. I don't have a financial background. None of this is financial advice, period. I just like sharing the opinions of others out there that do this for a living, or even if it's just a hobby that they're really, really into, but they've got some sort of track record or this or that, or like, that's what I'm looking for. So I just want to share others' opinions, and so that's what I'm doing here. And so if you want, again, just commit the 40 minutes if you fully want to see it. But he was talking about, and he was making comparisons back to the 2017 bull run, the first bull run ever inside of XRP, and he really dug into the charts there. And he was talking about how, the multiplier effect had you invested leading up to, the first mega bull run when XRP hit its all-time high of, almost $4. That was something like 1,000 times gain. But now, of course, he made the point, and I've made points like this before too, which is now that there's more money in it, since it's a quote-unquote larger cap coin, the multiplier effect in terms of reward could be a little bit less. But for me, I don't care. This is still... I think there's a fortune to be made, since almost 0% of the world is invested in cryptocurrencies, period, and even almost nobody even knows what XRP is. So I don't care. I'm still here early. And so I think there's tremendous opportunity for return. And so what he said, his opinion, is that during the next one, instead of 1,000 time gains, it's probably going to be more like 100 times gains. And you can look, he pulls up the chart, he gives his own rationale for it. I'm not here to regurgitate exactly what he said. I'm just here to share the sentiment. If you want to know the specifics, I'm letting you know where to go to do it. So it's do-it-yourself investing. On Twitter, he's at VAJOLLERATZII. And it was definitely worth watching. And so he struck me as somebody that he's trying to keep a level head, whether you agree with him or disagree with him. But he gave the reasons, and he showed the trend line in terms of ever since we entered the bear market in 2018, how even when XRP pops up, it's fighting against this resistance, the trend line, and even when it pops over it, then it's struggling to get over, to stay above that what hopefully would be new support. And he doesn't find any of that to have been surprising in the least. Even the price action today, I'm sure he'd say this, because this video came out at some point yesterday, but I'm sure even the price action today, because he talked about the idea of, hey, XRP could go lower, and he did say this. He said, look, if we're talking about a worst-case disaster scenario, he basically said maybe XRP could go down to 15 or 16 cents. He doesn't think that's going to happen, but he said, if he had to think of what the worst case scenario would be, and he said if that happened, he would throw all of his money into it at that point, because he went on to say things that are like keywords for Moon Lambo. For instance, he was just talking about how people, as it pertains to the buying and selling of cryptocurrency, just how emotional it is, how it's not based on fundamentals. And he said something very complimentary about what Ripple's doing. He said, hey, look, ultimately, the reason that XRP will have longevity has specifically to do, in large part, because of the ecosystem that is being built around XRP. We're talking about RippleNet there, of course. And he says that's the reason that there will be longevity. But he says, hey, in the short, and this is exactly, I firmly agree with this stuff, it's in the short term, there's a frenzy around this, and this entire asset class, and so people are buying and selling emotionally. And so he made I don't know if I can exactly remember. I thought it was a cool line though. It was something to the effect of, if you buy, basically when you buy at these prices, like say XRP hit 15 or 16 cents, if you buy at those levels, you're buying somebody else's fear. I thought that was a cool line. I was like, that's an interesting way to look at it, because people don't know what's going on. If the asset class is never going away, where do you think this will ultimately go? And then he says, when you're you're just, the selling at the top, once the parabolic bull run ultimately comes, I mean, somebody else, it's just going to be somebody else FOMOing in. And it's just, I've seen these patterns again and again, and I know that this is, and I've talked about this on my channel too, even with me not being a trader, I know this is how humans behave. You can look at the .com boom and bust. That's the most recent, exciting new technology that led to humans acting like complete idiots with their money. And now you've got crypto, and humans are still humans. They're still doing it. And so I'm happy to acknowledge things like this. Like, to me, I'm not going to change the way in which humans fundamentally operate, and then, the FOMO and the panic selling, I just acknowledge it, and I'm going to understand that and act accordingly. And so I'm a long-term guy. And as much as I've stated in the past that I buy on a set schedule, and I do, even I'd start to think, okay, if XRP actually got down to 15 cents, even I would start to be like, okay, maybe I should buy more. So I don't know, hopefully I'm disciplined and I just stick to what I've been doing for almost 2 full years, which is I just buy on a set schedule, whether the price is up or down, whatever it is. Well, not literally the whole 2 years. I did wait for a certain amount of retracement in 2018, but certainly for over a year. So anyway, though, but yeah, he said that as far as the $28 price point, it looked like to me, based on the chart, and he didn't cite it. I could just see where it was tracking, in the video, because he had a 40-minute video on YouTube. It looked like maybe by the end of August of next year is when that might hit. And it sounds like that would more so coincide also just with a lot of other market activity potentially as well. So it might not necessarily just be XRP. But I just don't believe for a moment that the all-time high that we've seen with XRP at almost $4, I don't believe that that's going to be the best all-time high there ever will have been for XRP. It just doesn't make any sense to me, especially given the real-world adoption and the fact that I know humans don't know what the hell they're doing. They're just panics selling and FOMO buying. That's what they're doing, and tons of people are losing money as a result of that. But those that are disciplined and know what they're doing, you don't necessarily have to. And so, going to be clear, none of that's financial advice. I'm just saying here. But, so you just tell me, do you think $28 is realistic for that time frame? Are you willing to wait? A little less than a year, or a half a year really is when it could start to pump, according to this guy. Do-it-yourself investing. Is that cool with you? All right, next here, this is from dailyhodl.com. The part I wanted to cover, I think it was down here. Yeah, it is now. Here we go. All right, Don Alt tells his 123,000 followers on Twitter he thinks Bitcoin is in the midst of a natural correction after its big rise to $14,000 earlier this year, which is kind of in line with what that part is in line with what Patty Stash had been saying. People talking about $3,000 right now are being more unreasonable than people talking about new highs. A run from $200 to $20,000 is going to take some time to digest. $3,000 was an overreaction to the downside. $14,000 was an overreaction to the upside. We're now finding middle ground. Nick Patel tells his crew of 75,000 followers the next line to watch for is $7,300. If it breaks, he thinks it could further drop to $6,100. If Bitcoin can't find a bottom here, like I figured it would, I think we'll move all the way to take out that $7,300 low. If that does happen, cross your fingers for a swing failure, because a clean break would likely lead to a move back to $6,100. All right, here's another opinion from Rex Capital, who tells his 24,000 followers there's plenty of precedent for a Bitcoin drop before the halving, which is set to cut the reward miners earn for powering the network in half next May. And here's a quote. Bitcoin tends to retrace strongly a few months prior to its halving. These retraces tend to be the first major correction in a new Bitcoin bull market. They tend to have a wicking bottom followed by a higher low, a black trend line. The HL shows that people want to buy Bitcoin at a premium. So there you go. So there's another few opinions right there on Bitcoin. Last here for this video. The Plunge. Crypto trader bets $4 million long on Bitcoin. All right, a popular margin trader on the crypto exchange BitMEX says he's taken a $4 million bet on Bitcoin. The trader, known in the industry as Flood, tells his 72,800 followers on Twitter that he's now long on Bitcoin and took the multi-million-dollar position when the leading crypto hit $8,105. Look at that. So here you go, Flood BitMEX at Thinking USD. Your paid group leader is short, looking for a 7,400K or 7.4K with his last 0.1 BTC in fees. True Chads are long and strong right now. And so then he's got a little screen grab right there. 4 million. Huh. Well, that shows some confidence. I would say. I think that's fair to say, is it not? Oh Lord, man. Yeah, we're talking about some real money there. So I think that's pretty much it for this video. But man, that $28 price prediction, and you know, the other thing I could say about that is he did talk about the need to take profits along the way. So he said that for him, this first off ramp is going to be when XRP hits $9. Second one would be when it hits 15, and then I can't remember if he said the third would literally be 28. And he also said that he doesn't think it's likely because, look, you can't predict these things, just like you couldn't predict that inside of a matter of weeks XRP would go from 20-something cents to almost $4. But he said, look, it's not off the table when this you know, the crazy FOMO sets in. It's not off the table for XRP to hit even, you know, $48 or $50. He did say he doesn't think it's likely. He's not saying that, at least not for the next parabolic bull run. He's not saying that it wouldn't ever. He's just saying the next crazy shift upward, because you're not going to see a straight line up in price without some sort of retracement. And there's going to be a lot of retracing over the coming years and decades, I think. But yeah, he's not ruling that type of price action out, and I certainly don't. I don't know where this is all going to land, but I've said many times, and that. To me, it would be weird if you look decades down the road and there aren't some cryptocurrencies that have staying power that have their own individual market caps in the trillions. Like, it would be weird to me if that didn't happen, at least with one or two at a minimum, right? Like, that would be bonkers to me, because you're talking about the internet of value here, at least as it pertains to Ripple's vision for XRP. Like, it's the implications financially are absolutely just staggering, I think. And we're really only at the beginning. 10 years in, I mean, you might as well be at the beginning. Almost nothing has happened, relatively speaking. So anyway, that's it for this video. I think that we could all use a little positive news like that, or at least thoughts, whether or not you believe it. A little positive prediction on a day like today where things are going down. But the sentiment of the day doesn't affect me. I am impervious as it pertains to emotional buying and selling. I am bulletproof on this stuff. I don't care how much people want to panic sell, even if it goes past below where I originally bought in around 20 cents. I don't care. I simply do not care. I am a long-term guy, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and fine, I lose everything, but I doubt I'm wrong. I could not be more confident, and so that's why I said I don't know if I would, because I've been so disciplined, but if XRP actually got down to like 15 or 16 cents, I would be probably tempted to be like, okay, take my money. Just take my money, right? Here you go, so whatever. But we'll see. That's it for this video, though. I probably went a little longer than I intended. Sorry, guys. But if you stuck around to the end, an extra special thank you. I do appreciate it. I'm not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!